Hey everybody, good night. It is Tuesday night, and guess what that means? It means it's time for dinner with Debbie. So I'm back with a recipe that I've been wanting to try for a while. It was viral on TikTok, and it looked pretty easy, it looked pretty yummy, and I couldn't resist the name. It is called Marry Me Chicken. So supposedly, if you make this meal, you're going to get proposed to because it's just that good. So, you know, some people you can, you know, woo them through their stomach, I guess. So I'm going to get right into it because it actually is. It looks like a yummy dish. So we did taste test it over the weekend, and I made a few adjustments to it. So the full recipe, and I got this recipe obviously from the TikTok, but you know the instructions I got, they tried it on the New York Times cooking, so you know I read through their notes on it too. So I'm going to be serving this with over pasta and with a green salad, and it'll come together pretty quick, you'll see. So there's two ways to go about the protein. Obviously it's chicken, but you can either get 3 regular chicken breasts and slice them kind of horizontally to get 2 cutlets out of it, or you can buy, many of the stores now have the thin, they're already cut into thin slices. So I did that. I have the already sliced. One of the tips that they gave, which is an excellent tip, if you don't have the thin sliced chicken available at your grocery store, throw the chicken breasts into the freezer for a little bit so that they get a little bit stiff, and they're much easier to slice if you get them slightly frozen. So I have, I think it's 5 thinly sliced chicken breasts right here on a plate, and I'm going to arrange these on the plate so that they're a little bit more spread out. And then I'm going to have to, I didn't think this out. I should have done this before, but now I got to wash my hands. So I'm going to do that and get my tongs. Hold on. That's the one bad thing about chicken. You're always washing your hands constantly. The chicken juice everywhere. So, dry my hands. And I'm back. So I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle this both sides with salt and pepper. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to heat up. I'm using my cast iron skillet tonight because I like that it gets a nice crust on it. I've got about 3 tablespoons of olive oil in my cast iron skillet, and I'm just going to start heating this on medium heat. I'm going to salt. And I like to, the reason that you always see people on like Food Network and everywhere else salting kind of high up, it's so that the salt distributes evenly. And I'm just going to use regular already ground pepper to pepper these up. And I'm going to sprinkle, and then I'll flip these over. So the oil is getting hot. I'm going to go ahead. I have 3 tablespoons of butter. I'm going to add that. Oh, I don't know if you could hear that. My dogs decided to bark. All right, let me get my tongs. Ara, calm down. And I'm going to flip these over so that I can salt and pepper them on the other side. I really like getting these already sliced. I got to be honest. They're a little bit more expensive, but it's so much quicker, and the machine they use to slice it is doing it much more evenly than I could ever possibly do with my knife skills. So here again, with the salt, and I'm just using like a good healthy pinch, spreading over. A little bit of pepper. Now the recipe, when you see it, when it gets posted, you'll see it says to do about 5 minutes on each side. And I would probably counter that with, like, it depends on how thick your chicken breasts are. So let me show you. The butter is starting to melt and foam. And then I will, hey Lisa, once this butter foams, I'm going to go ahead and start putting these chicken breasts in there. Now they're not all going to fit, so I'm going to have to do this in batches, just like if you were breading anything else. So what I'm going to do, all right, this is getting to be, so I have about, probably more than a quarter cup of flour in this pan. And what I'm going to do is just take our salt and peppered chicken breasts, flour them lightly, shake it off, and then put them in the pan. So I'm thinking I'll probably be able to fit 2, maybe 3 of these in here. And what I'll do as they finish, I have another pan that I've lined with some paper towels to soak up some of that extra. So this looks good. So I'm going to get started. And yep, I'm getting my hands dirty. I'm just going to have to wash my hands several times. So here's what one of them looks like. And then when you put these in the pan, you'll kind of want to put them down away from you in case it splatters, because that will keep it from splattering on you. There. One of the reasons I like using the cast iron skillet is, like, as you know, I've talked about this before, is that it really browns things really nicely. Plus, it's so heavy, your pan is not going to get warped and cook unevenly as a result. All right, and I think I can fit one more in here. There. One thing to watch out for when you're using the cast iron skillet is you definitely need a pot holder, otherwise you will burn the bejesus out of your hands. Don't ask me how I know. But while that's continuing to brown on that side, I'm going to do the flouring of the remaining 2 cutlets that I have here. So this for me will end up being dinner tonight and then lunch tomorrow, because the sauce that comes with this is really yummy. You'll see it's like tomatoey and creamy and all the things. So let me get rid of this and wash my hands again. There, I'm back. Hey, Taylor. All right, so what I've also got going on is that I've got a big pot over there that I've started to get the boil on for, because I'm going to boil up some, I'm going to cook some pasta to go with this. And get out my pot holder, just in case I need to move it. The thing about the cast iron skillet is that, like, once you put it down, you really don't need to move it very much. You get my tongs, just take a peek. So if you do the technique where you're slicing your chicken breasts in half yourself, chances are they're going to be a little thicker than the chicken cutlets that I've got here, the thin sliced already from the grocery store. So I'm going to cook these less time than what the directions are going to say. And I would encourage you to kind of keep an eye on it. And I'm going to flip these and I'll show you what they look like. And they're just getting a little golden. And when they flip, I'll put them onto the paper towel lined thing, and then I'll be able to put the other ones in. So let's talk just a smidge about what am I drinking with this. So I was thinking, marry me chicken. I wanted something kind of romantic like, and I'm not really a big rosé fan usually, but I did have this really fantastic rosé. This is a French rosé. I had it at the Tuscarora French wine dinner, so I bought a few bottles of it, which is unusual for me because I'm not really a big rosé lover. But this is a rosé that is vinted to dry, so that's going to make it good. I really don't like the sweet ones, so. Yeah, that's nice. And I thought it was just kind of festive because it's pink. I'm going to keep an eye on these cutlets here. And I would tell you to go ahead and keep some olive oil on hand, because it hasn't happened to me, but sometimes it gets kind of used up, and for your next batch you might want to have a little bit more olive oil in there, but I don't foresee that being a problem for me with this. There seems to be plenty going on here between I think it's like 2 or 3 tablespoons of olive oil and 3 tablespoons of butter. So I'm going to let these go. Let me run through some of the other ingredients while we're here. Whoops. So the sauce is going to be made, it's actually fairly simple, not very many ingredients, but we have 3 cloves of garlic, a tablespoon of tomato paste, and let me tell you what I love. I used to buy those little cans of tomato paste, but sometimes you only need like 1 or 2 tablespoons, and I felt like I was just wasting it and I'd never use it again. So I've discovered these tubes of tomato paste. A lot of different brands make tomato paste in a tube, which I love because you can just use what you want, and then I feel like I'm not wasting anything, which I love. We also are going to have a little bit of oregano, some crushed red pepper flakes. You know, I'm going to use more than what the recipe calls for because I like things spicy. I'm going to have a cup of low sodium chicken stock and some heavy cream, but not a lot. Don't go crazy. Don't get mad. But sometimes you just need a little heavy cream in your life. And if it's only a half a cup split between people. So there. Right. So these chicken breasts are looking good. In fact, one of them got browner than the other, so I'm going to take that one out and put that on the paper towel. I'm just going to let these go a little bit longer. I really like to see them just like that, you know, just a little hint of golden brown, but I don't want them to get too overcooked. So I'm going to go ahead and take these out. And then we've got our last 2 chicken cutlets going in. There we go. And I'm going to get rid of this pan with the flour. So I find when I'm cooking for you guys, I end up making more dishes dirty because I'm trying to like get things like more set up, you know, so that the video doesn't run long. But you know, whenever you're like breading something or having some sort of breading station, you're always going to have like a lot of pans and what have you. So I try to find things that I'm able to put in the dishwasher so that it doesn't take quite as long. So that's going good. And actually my water is boiling, but I'm not ready to drop the pasta in there yet. So I'm going to turn it down. There. Yeah, that's a good rosé. Okie dokie. So I'm going to show you. I'm actually making it super easy on myself. I could make a salad. Sure, it's not that hard. But there's a salad that I get at Wegmans that I really like. And so this is the salad we're going to have tonight. I'm not going to make it for you because it's pretty much any idiot could follow the directions. But I love the arugula Parmigiano Reggiano salad kit at Wegmans. It is like the shaved Parmesan. They have a nice dressing that goes with it. And it's just like so easy. And I think it's a really good complement because the arugula is a little bit bitter. It'll counteract some of the richness of this sauce. I think it would be a really good salad to serve with this meal. That's the other reason that I like the rosé with this is because it's, you know, the rosé has got a good amount of acidity to it, and I think it will cut through some of the creaminess and fattiness of this sauce that this chicken is going to go in. So I have flipped my chicken breasts. I'm just waiting for them to brown on that side. And then once that's done, we're just going to make the sauce. So this is a perfect meal. I think obviously it's called Marry Me Chicken. I think this is like a meal to make to impress your date. If you're dating someone, I can tell you that, you know, Mark really liked it. So he's like, yeah, this is really, really good. So I think you can also serve it, you know, over pasta like I'm going to do, but you can also serve it over rice. The first time I did it, we did it over polenta, which was, I thought, really good because I like polenta. It soaked up the sauce really well. Or even some like crusty bread, I think would be a great option to soak up some of the sauce. Now this is almost ready. Because other than the plates that you're getting dirty and trays that you're getting dirty from breading and, you know, everything else cooks all in one pan, which I like those kinds of recipes. Other than the casserole, you know, which is like the go-to for, you know, one dish cooking. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, that looks good. So, and I'll tell you what, I was going non-stop today from appointment to appointment to appointment. I've seriously got like 6 or 7 listings coming up. So lots of appointments, lots of things to do today. And this is a really easy meal to come home and make. All right, so I've got all of my chicken breasts breaded, browned. So they're all resting on that plate. All right, so now I'm going to reduce this heat to low, and I'm going to add my garlic. And you know, I don't like to measure anything. It says 3 garlic cloves. I've already got the stuff already, you know, minced in the jar. So I'm going to do like, I don't know, 2 of these. And you need to stir this up pretty quick because it will burn. Next, I'm going to add my tomato paste. It's 1 tablespoon of this, which again, I love it in the tube. This takes a little bit to get it incorporated because it's thick. So let me grab a spoon. I'm just going to stir this up. Yeah, it smells delicious. All right, now I'm going to add my oregano, which is about a teaspoon. And you know, when I use the dried oregano, I want to pinch it to wake it up. and my red pepper flakes, which is supposed to be like a half a teaspoon, but I'm going to use a teaspoon. Well, maybe more like a tablespoon. I like it spicy. And give this a stir. The directions will say to taste, so that's my taste. If you don't like it spicy, don't add it or just add a little bit. All right, that smells delicious. Now what we're going to do is add our stock. I get the low sodium chicken stock. I need a cup of it. Or thereabouts. It's not rocket science, so you don't have to be exact. Or baking. That's why I'm not a very good baker, because baking, you have to be exact. Right, and so of course this is going to bubble up immediately. And I want to scrape up anything that might stick, because the tomato paste is going to stick to the bottom a little bit, even in a non-stick. But that's, again, why I like the cast iron skillet, because if you're using one of those really good non-sticks, you're not going to get the same kind of browning that's going to go on that you get with a cast iron skillet. Because the cast iron skillet, things will stick a little bit and they will get brown. With those, like I have that ceramic coated non-stick cookware, and I'll tell you, those things are slippery. They're slippery. And there's no way you would get like a nice brown. Oops, I just splattered some on my countertops. All right, so I wish you guys could smell this, because it smells really good. Okay, so we're going to want to, I think I told you I already turned this down to low, and we're going to let this simmer a little bit and let it reduce in volume by about half. They're saying about 5 minutes, probably. I think it is time that I can put the pasta in the water, because that's going to take about 9 or 10 minutes to cook. So while I'm letting this simmer down, I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat back up on my pot of water to boil, and I'm going to put my pasta in. So I think I got this as a gift, but it's really good. I don't know where it came from, but this is an organic free-range egg pasta. They're little nests, which I love, of pasta. You can see they come like in little circles as they nest the pasta. Normally you see that in like fresh pasta, but this is a dried pasta product. So I was going to tell you, I have actually been over to, there is a new Italian cafe in Leesburg, a Bodega Italiano, and they have authentic Italian pastas, sauces, things, everything in there is from Italy. The olive oils, the vinegars, everything. And they do some cooking. They have, look how cute that is. And I'm just going to drop these little nests. So that was one made with beets, so it was pink. This one is made with spinach, so it's green. And I'm going to do 2 of each color, just because I'm like that. I like things to be even. Oh gosh, there's only a little bit left, so maybe I'll just do it all. But I'm putting it in gradually so that the water doesn't stop boiling. And I'm just going to go set the timer so I don't forget about that, because I'm famous for doing that. And I set that for 9 minutes so I can keep an eye on it. All right, let me clean up a little bit of my mess here. give this a stir. Yeah, this is simmering nicely. And what you will notice is that this is definitely cooking down. It's kind of a burnt red, almost maroon color, which is what I'm looking for, because that means that the tomato paste is really cooked. And you'll see when I put the cream in, it will lighten up in color. All right, this looks good. So, what's next? Okay, so I'm going to take a half a cup of my heavy cream. Go ahead and put this in the measuring cup. So some things I do measure, but not much. All right. And I'm going to pour this in, and I'm going to stir this and keep an eye on it, because I want to start to watch it thicken. Because the reason you want to use the heavy cream is not only for the delicious flavor, but it's also a thickening agent. That fat is a thickening agent. I feel like all good things start with fat. Yes, I'm going to turn the heat up just a smidgen. All right, and this is all stirred and incorporated. And you just want to keep this on a gentle simmer. You don't want it to get boiling too much, too aggressively. Oh, jeez, it keeps slopping stuff all over. I'm going to be cleaning the kitchen tonight. All right, this is simmering nicely. While I'm at it, I'm going to give a little spin to my pasta here. Really nice. Cool. So one of the other ingredients I have are some sun-dried tomatoes. You can get these jarred, which is how I have them. I have them in a jar. They're already sliced, which makes it super easy if you can find the sliced. These are julienne cut. These are in Italian herbs. I don't think it's going to be a problem. All right, and again, I'm going to let you take a look. You can see how nicely this is incorporated. And let me tell you what, it smells so good. All right, so the next thing we need is a half a cup of grated Parmesan. Now you could grate it yourself. Have at it, but I got some already grated, and I'll measure this too. Again, we're not baking, so it doesn't have to be exact, and this is also going to thicken. So there's my half a cup. I'm going to sprinkle this in. And I'm going to stir this up. I'm going to stir this up, and then I'm going to add my sun-dried tomatoes. I don't know, this might make me want to marry somebody. Right, and so we want a third of a cup of these sun-dried tomatoes, and I'm just going to use the rest of this jar. It might be a little bit more than a third, but you know, there's not much there's not much left in the jar, so why not, right? Here, let me show. So that's probably more than 1/3 of a cup. But again, and I'll just give this a little stir, get it cooking. And I just love sun-dried tomatoes. I love how when they're dried like that, their flavor is just so intense. To me, it's like one of my favorite flavors. All right, and this is still simmering. Now, at this point, I think I'm going to give a little taste and see if I need anything. I'm going to try not to burn my mouth. That's good. I'm going to put a little bit more salt in here. Just a smidge. And if you wanted, you could add a little bit more cream. And I think I will add a little bit more cream, just because I'd like the sauce to be a little bit creamier than what it is. Just a smidge. And I'm going to put the chickens back in here. This looks really good. All right, so I've got my tongs. I'm going to go ahead and start putting these chicken breasts that have been sitting here into the pan. And since they're cooked, they're a little bit smaller, and all of them should fit back in the pan. So I have 5 of these, which, like I said, is going to be dinner tonight and then lunch for me tomorrow. Yep, they all fit in here. So I'm going to let, and this also reheats the chicken too, because it's been sitting on the pan there. I'm going to let that dribble. I'm going to get rid of this pan. And we're almost ready with the pasta now too. So I'll get out my colander. I'm going to flip these chicken breasts over so both sides get it. Get the sauce. That's the other thing. You don't have to like really baby these cast iron skillets. You know, I don't have to use like special utensils. I can use metal, you know, because it's, you know, there's no like non-stick surface to worry about. All right, there's my timer for the pasta. I'm going to turn that off. Turn off my timer. And I've got my little pasta server here. I'm going to give this a stir. And I'm going to drain this. Alrighty, and I'm going to turn off my burner for my chicken. Let me make up a plate and you can see what it looks like. And I'll get a little bit of pasta here. And I grab a chicken breast. And then I want to make sure I get some of this sauce and get some of these sun-dried tomatoes. And there you have it. This is Marry Me Chicken. I hope you give this a try because it's extremely delicious. You can make it ahead, you can freeze it, and then just do the sauce. I think that there might be a marriage proposal in your future if you try it. So again, have it with the rosé. Marry Me Chicken. Let me know how it goes, and I will see you next week.